Today I'm going to teach you essential portrait and landscape picture vocabulary in more detail. If you're interested in the arts, these words are a must. Let's get started. Do you know what we call the orientation of these pages in English? The left one is called portrait and the right one landscape. In daily life we use the words landscape and portrait to describe the orientation of paper when printing a document or photograph. But these words originally come from painting. Portraits are usually in the portrait format and landscapes in the landscape format. Simple, right? What are these? Yes, they're all portraits. Pictures of a person or group of people. Let's look at this portrait in more detail and answer a few questions about it. The sitter is the person who is shown in the picture, not necessarily sitting. What is the first thing you notice about the sitter in this picture? The sitter is the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci, the most famous portrait ever made. The view of a portrait is the angle of the sitter's face in relation to the viewer. What view is shown in this portrait? The view of this portrait is three-quarter view or two-thirds view, which means the sitter's head is posing in between frontal view, where the sitter is facing directly forwards, and profile view, where the side of the sitter's face is shown. The facial expression is the way the different parts of the face work together to show emotion. What does the facial expression tell us about the sitter? One of the big things about the Mona Lisa's facial expression is that she has an enigmatic half smile, which gives her an air of mystery. The posture of a sitter is the position of their body. How would you describe the posture of the sitter in this portrait? She is sitting with an upright posture, sideways in a chair, with her face and chest turned slightly towards the viewer. A sitter's gestures are what they are doing with their hands. What is the sitter here doing with her hands? The sitter's gesture, with the right hand resting on her left wrist, makes her look modest. Attire is a formal word meaning clothes, especially fine ones, so it is commonly used to describe the clothing worn by sitters in portrait paintings. How would you describe the attire worn by the sitter in this portrait painting? The sitter's attire is dark and quite simple, which focuses the viewer's attention on her face and hands. The setting is the place or environment in which the person is shown. What is the setting in this portrait? The setting is a complicated imaginary landscape with winding roads, trees, a bridge, and snow-capped mountains. For home study, I recommend you paint or draw a self-portrait. And make sure you can talk about your portrait using all the key words in this video. Now, what are these? Yes, they're landscape paintings, and they are all in the landscape format. The only man-made things we can see in this painting are the buildings. But what things found in nature can we see? Trees, mountains, animals, sky and clouds, grass, flowers, a lake. See how there are more natural objects than man-made ones? We call a picture of natural scenery like this a landscape. But we live in the city. We don't see that kind of view. Okay, if the view is of a city, it's a cityscape, and of the sea is a seascape. but the orientation is still landscape. Let's continue. Let's separate this landscape painting into 3 sections. 1. Background. 2. Middle ground. 3. Foreground. Artists often divide landscapes into 3 sections to break up the space of the picture. They also do this to make clear the things that are close to you in the painting from the things that are further away. Next, notice how some objects are covering up part of what you can see in the middle ground and background. This is called overlapping. The trees in the foreground overlap the lake in the midground, and the palace in the background overlaps the mountains. Overlapping is a technique used by artists to create the idea of depth or space within a painting. Linear perspective is a technique used by artists to create the illusion of depth and space, the guiding principle being that the objects in the foreground are larger than the objects in the middle ground or background to make them appear closer to you. To achieve relative size, the artist has placed a vanishing point on a horizon line across the surface of the picture, at which parallel lines meet as they converge. Using linear perspective, it is possible to arrange the composition of a painting in a way like how the human eye sees the world. The title of this painting is Landscape with a Calm by Nicolas Poussin. It doesn't illustrate a story, but rather creates a calm mood. Also, this is an imaginary landscape. Poussin painted it from his imagination, not from real life. Here's a project for you to try. Paint or draw your own imagined landscape, including a clear foreground, middle ground, and background. Use overlapping and relative size to create spatial depth, like you see in Landscape with a Calm. And when you've made your imaginary landscape, share it with us at Miyazaki Art School. We'd love to see your work. Hello, this is Adam at Miyazaki Art School. Check the link in the description below to book a one-to-one online art and English lesson with me today. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to see more from Miyazaki Art School. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time.